So I want to talk to you about hitting a desired shot shape and understanding the influence that the face has on the start line of the golf ball and then obviously on the curve as we talk about facial recognition. And by the way, remind you, as I always do, like and subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about what we've got going on over here. So let me show you what we've got going on over here. We're on the 18th fairway at Pebble Beach. I know it's a beautiful place to be, isn't it? But we've driven it and we're directly behind a tree. Now, this happens to you. Maybe not at Pebble Beach, maybe somewhere else. Maybe you've hit a tee shot into the trees and you're trying to curve it around a bush or a tree or whatever it is that might be in your way. And you hit the tree every single time. And you don't know why you hit the tree. Let me show you what you do. So you step up like this and you think to yourself, wisely, I want to curve this to the right. So I got to aim to the left. So you pick out a window in the hotel behind, and then you take the club face and you open it up because wisely you've thought, okay, I got to open up the club face. So you aim left and you open up the club face to a degree where you want to like fade it enough to get it in the fairway. So we open up left, face is open. We hit the shot and boom, it goes right into the tree. Now I got lucky that it went through and not deflecting into the water. But I want you to come up here and I want you to see what that shot actually did. The club swinging left started the ball to the right. Why? Because the face was so open. And the spin was remarkable. Almost 2,400 RPMs of spin. And this is a 4-iron. So that ball would have had a massive curve to the right. But the tree, I got shacked. That's what happened. Now, here's how you solve this problem. One, you have to understand that the face is going to deflect the golf ball to whatever angle or wherever it is aiming. So I'm just using lefts and rights. So if I want to curve the ball to the right, I'm going to open up the club face. The ball's going to deflect to the right, which means I have to aim farther to the left than I think I even need to. So if I want to start it at the edge of the hotel over there, I've got to aim way left so that when I swing through with the face open, that it ends up starting at the hotel. So I'm going to aim way over here. Way over here. Look at how far left I'm aiming over here. Now, club face is wide open, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing way left to create that side spin that's going to move this ball to the cut side. So here we go. And now it starts over to the left-hand side. It fades back to the right-hand side. And it gets into the bunker, not into the water. It gets into the bunker. But now let's look at our numbers. So the numbers on this one, it started now 4.3 to the left. Instead of starting 4 to the right, it started 4.3 to the left. I still had over 2,000 RPMs of spin. So I basically had a very, very similar shot. But because I aimed a bit more to the left than I even thought I needed to, I was able to avoid that tree and it was able to go on its journey, cut around, and now I'm in the bunker. Not an easy shot, but it's a whole lot better than dropping in the bunker for my third shot, right? And so what you need to appreciate is the start line of the golf ball is going to be affected by this club face. And this is why when you're punching out of trees, you have a very difficult time getting out of the trees. You hit the tree you're trying to avoid because you don't aim far enough and allow for the curve of the golf ball and, the start line of the golf ball based on the angle of the club face. Let me get a 6-iron. I'm going to go the other way around. So, 6-iron. Now I'm going to hook it. Now, I have to aim way farther to the right-hand side than I might normally because I'm going to take the club face and I'm going to close the club face and I'm going to hit this Bert Blyleven curve ball. This ball is going to fall off of this mat. You're going to hear a big ding as it hits the floor itself, not the landing area or the catch mat that I have. So I'm going to aim. I want to start this to the right of that tree. So let's just say the edge of the corner of the hotel. I'm going to aim way, way, way right. So I'm going to go over here like this. Club face, by the way, show that. I've got it towed in massively. So just as it was open with the 4-iron, now it's closed with a 6-iron. Now I'm aiming over here, and now we go. And now it spins around to the left-hand side. Don't go in that bunker. I'm tired of that bunker. Okay, good. Now, we come up here and let's look at what happened to this. I had almost 2,000 RPMs of left spin. A lot less backspin, by the way, even though I had a 6-iron. Why? Because when I toe it in, that 6-iron now becomes much closer to a 4-iron or possibly a 3-iron, which is why the launch on that was only 11 degrees. But that thing started out to the right and then spun over to the left-hand side. Okay? Now, what this all means is this. You have to account for what I call deflection. Deflection is a face angle. If the angle of the face is like this, the ball is going to come down, it's going to deflect that way. If the angle of the face is like this, it's going to come down, it's going to deflect that way. It's always going to deflect to the face, and you have to account for it. So if my path is going directly at you and my club face is going over to the left-hand side, that ball is going to go over to the left-hand side in the start. So now what I got to do is I got to take all this and skew it over here to the right so that I'm swinging this way, but the face is this way. It's going to start over to the left, and then it's going to spin more. The other thing is this, and this is an important thing, because one of the things that you're thinking to yourself is, all right, well, why'd you use a 4-iron in one case and a 6-iron in another case? And the reason why is that if I take a 4-iron and try to toe it in to hit a hook, I've taken all the loft out of the shot. This thing's going to run along the ground. And if I take a 6-iron and I try to cut it, now all of a sudden it's going to climb in the air. It's going to behave like a wedge, and it's not going to have enough side spin because of the backspin. It's not going to have enough side spin to curve a lot. So I take loft and I take it off with the 4-iron when I want to try to cut it. I put it on when I want to try to cut it. So I grab the club. It's got less loft, but I open up the club face so I get more loft. And when I go to the 6-iron, I've got more loft. And when I close it, I take loft off. So I look at it through this lens. If I'm really trying to hook a ball, I'm going to use more loft. 6s and 7s, rarely an 8. If I'm trying to slice it a lot, I'm using 3, 4, 5 irons. 6-iron, it's good. It's not, if I'm trying to fade it a whole lot, slice it a whole lot. So the amount that I'm trying to curve it is a predictor of what club I'm going to use. The distance that I need to get is a predictor, obviously. And then the other thing is how high I'm going to hit it. I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's go back to this cut again. I'm taking my 4-iron. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut this thing around. But this time I'm going to hit it low. When I hit it low and I cut it, I don't know what kind of side spin I'm going to get, but the ball, because it's not high enough in the air, it doesn't have enough time to curve over past that bunker. This may end up in the water because it's so low. So I'm going to open the club face. I'm going to aim over here to the left-hand side. Same thing. I'm going to swing this over to the left-hand side, but I'm going to hit this low. So I hit it low, and now all of a sudden, a watery grave. Now, if I hit this thing high, now watch what happens. Because I now have a lot more time, because the ball's up in the air for a longer period of time. It has more time to curve. That apexed at 40 feet. It launched at 9 degrees. Now watch what happens here. I'm now going to take this one. I'm going to play it a little more forward in my stance. I'm going to take the club face. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to hit this thing high. And I'm going to give this a ton of time to curve back into the fairway. So now I hit it really, really high, and now it's spinning over to the right-hand side. And now, boom, I got it just barely into the fairway. Now come on up here. And what you're going to notice is that ball launched at 20 degrees. That's twice the launch angle. The apex got up to 84 feet. That's really up there. And now it has a chance to curve. That one curved a pile, 23 feet. That's moving over there like that. Look at my side spin, 3,500. Backspin goes up to 7,300 with a 4-iron. Now that's normally like a 7-iron number for me. That's a 4-iron that I turned into a 7-iron, and that's why the thing launched at 20. So you have to understand the facial recognition of deflection. And it doesn't just deflect left and right, it also deflects up and down. So when we start talking about up and downs, that's when I'm grabbing more or less loft. If I need more up, I'm opening that thing up. I'm going to hit it up into the air like that. I'm going to use a 4-iron. I'm going to spin it open to like a 7-iron loft, and then I'm going to hit it up into the air and give it time to curve over. If I'm trying to hook it, I'm going to get a 7-iron or a 6-iron, shut that face in, and hit that. Typically, I don't need to hit it as high when I'm hitting a when I'm hitting a draw. It's a lot easier to throw the curveball than it is to throw the screwball. So what I can tell you is, for me, I can hook it more than I can slice it, the way it is. What I want you to know is there's a deflection that you have to account for in the left and right as well. That's going to affect your start line. And when you start doing that, that's when you're going to start missing those trees that are right in front of you and getting your ball out and curving in the direction that you want. You have to understand that that golf ball is going to deflect off an open face to the push side or on a closed face to the pull side, and you have to account for it. If you don't, you're going to keep plugging it into that tree, and you're never going to get out of trouble successfully. Even though you might be hitting the shot you want, it's never going to get the chance to live its full movement because it's run into that tree. Think about that next time when you're trying to avoid a tree or get out of trouble. To improve all parts of your game, subscribe to my channel and click the link below.